Hello, wonderful students. Good morning. Today is Monday. I hope your weekend went well. And today we are going to continue learning about layers of Earth. So if you go to your Google Classroom, you will see that things look a little bit different. For example, if you see last week, I uploaded everything under the week, but now I'm going to start uploading everything individually for each day. Now when you go and click on layers of Earth, you will find our slides. Again, the slides for the entire unit are together, so I just need you guys to kind of scroll down a little bit. And if you look here, it will say what your slide or what your content for today is. Now, let's talk real quick about what we've covered so far. So far, we've already learned about what atmosphere is, what atmospheric pressure or temperature is, and we've learned about troposphere. And troposphere is basically the layer of atmosphere that we live in. And we also learned that as we go higher up in altitude, which is the level from the sea or the distance from the sea level, we notice that temperature gets cooler. It gets cooler, and when you go higher up, air pressure also decreases. And the reason that we learned was because of something called air pressure. And since there are lesser and lesser molecules higher up, obviously there's lesser air pressure. Today, we're going to learn about another layer called the stratosphere. Now, if you look here, let me just get a pointer. Okay, so if you look here, this is the second layer. This is the stratosphere. This is where commercial airplanes kind of fly. And this is obviously the atmospheric level, which is above the troposphere. Now, we already learned what each layer means, and we've learned that strato means layered. So this is basically the layer where gases do not mix very much, and gases are very layered when compared to the troposphere, where gases are more easily mixing with each other. And the air here is also very thin. It's because, again, as you go higher up, there are lesser and lesser air particles or gas particles. So air is very thin here, and there's very little moisture. Almost all of the water or moisture is actually in the troposphere, leaving very little moisture in the stratosphere. And you will notice that actually the lower level of the atmosphere or the stratosphere, sorry. So like this area of the stratosphere is actually extremely cold, and the average temperature is only minus 60 degrees Celsius. You can actually try and convert it to Fahrenheit if it's more convenient for you, but it's really, really cold. But as you go higher up in the stratosphere, it actually does not get colder. It gets warmer. So if you remember, in troposphere, as you go higher up, it gets colder. But in stratosphere, it's colder near the lower end of the stratosphere, but as you go higher, it gets warmer. And that is because of something called the ozone layer. Now, if you remember from our previous lessons, you would know that ozone layer is basically a layer of O3 molecules. So there are three oxygen atoms that kind of bind together to form an ozone particle. And these kind of absorb the ultraviolet rays from the sun. And when they absorb these UV rays, they kind of like warm up the temperature in that area, right? And because of this ozone layer, we are also protected by skin cancer and other deformities that we could have had if we did not have ozone layer. So that is all we know about stratosphere. The next layer that we want to talk about is the mesosphere. Now, again, we already learned that meso means the middle. So mesosphere is obviously the middle layer. Obviously, mesosphere is above the stratosphere. And it is the middle layer, but also the coldest layer there is. Similar to troposphere, the temperature also decreases as altitude increases. So as you go higher up in the mesosphere, it gets colder and colder and colder. And at the very top of the mesosphere, so above like around this layer, the temperature can be as low as minus 93 degrees Celsius. Can you even imagine that? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, so to kind of revise or review, in the troposphere, as you go higher up, temperature decreases. But in the stratosphere, temperature increases as you go up because of the ozone layer and because the ozone layer absorbs the particles or the UV rays from the sun. And in the mesosphere, again, it's the coldest layer and temperature decreases as you go up. That is all the actual content for today. Now, another thing that you guys have to do for your independent practice. So when you go here and click on independent practice, let's see. After you watch the video for guided practice, which is this video, complete this lab activity. Now, you guys have already done a few of the steps. So you guys had to complete until step 3 on Friday when we learned about the troposphere. But now since we've learned about the mesosphere, I want you guys to complete step 4 and then step 5. So we've learned until the mesosphere. So go ahead and complete the other 2. Again, you don't have to turn this in yet. So please hold off. We're going to wait until we complete all the things until here, until step 9 before you actually submit it. So yeah, have a good day, guys. Good luck on your Are You Ready test tomorrow, which is math at 9 o'clock. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.